background. And guys, this is it. I will present to you our featured guest, Ms. Zukhanye Funani, the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa finalist 2020. And yes, hi Zukhanye.
Hi. How are you?
I miss you. I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, it's been a long time since I saw you. It was last year since I saw you, Zukhanye, here in the Philippines from the last Little in Teen Glam, and you are now a grown-up lady. How is it yes, in South Africa? How is your country today?
Oh, well, yes, we are, with this whole pandemic thing, but I think we're holding it together and we're tackling this as a country. And yeah, we're trying our best.
Okay, so are you still guys on the lockdown, or you guys went back to work and school?
We are expected to go back to school on the 6th of July, but I think that they're gonna push that because we are still having difficulties. People are still getting infected. There's a huge rise. But yeah, we are out of stage 5, but we're still told to stay at home and self-quarantine.
Okay, I see. Okay, but before anything else, before we go to the most interesting part of our interview, please, Zukhanye, tell us more about yourself.
Well, I am 17 years old. I am doing grade 11 at Nuclear High School. I play netball for the first team, and I am a prefect. I'm part of the student council at school, and I love pageantry. Right now, I am doing, as you said, Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa, and I made it as a finalist. I'm expected to perform later on next month, and I am currently doing a radio show, so that's exciting for me right now. It's a new endeavor, and I'm really happy about it.
Okay, that's a really good thing, because I am myself also was once a radio broadcaster back when I was teenager, but now I was switched to the events and pageantry. So that's a really nice thing to hear from you. So tell us more about the radio broadcasting. Is this your passion, or you are just promoting yourself because of the pageantry and the advocacy?
Well, I saw this as a really great opportunity to make a difference in the world, because that's what I always look to do. And when I was told that they could give me this show and this platform, I was very excited about it. Obviously, I was nervous because I had never done radio before, but I am trying my best. I believe that I really am making a difference, because on the show, we always talk about issues that are affecting the country, that are affecting the world, and I think a lot of people can get a lot from those conversations that we had, and we teach people and we educate people, and that's really what I always look to do.
Yes, and we all know, especially to all our viewers out there who is listening to us right now, I know you guys know that radio is the first thing and first ever equipment, or what do you call this, a way to reach people, before there was social media. So Zukhanye, what is your advocacy in your as a beauty queen? What is your advocacy that you promote?
I feel very passionate about ending discrimination. I just want people to be understood, because a lot is happening in the world, a lot of bias and discrimination, especially now with something like the Black Lives Matter movement, where Black people are being discriminated against. And I really want to remove all of those stereotypes and those bias and those beliefs by teaching people about people, so that when we understand each other, we can all treat each other with respect. And really, that's really what I want to do. I just want people to be accepted as human beings.
Okay, correct. I really agreed with you, especially George Floyd from America. He was killed by white people, white policemen, and then now the Black Lives Matter is really into the issue, world issue, and we're on ongoing racial discrimination nowadays. I didn't even thought before that racism is going to be one of the biggest problems to be held in the world right now. Especially there's also experiencing a global pandemic, And but before that, let's have a big shout out to your mom. Hi, Madam Mrs. Funani. How are you tonight? is she together with you?
Yes, she is. She's standing outside the door and she's watching on her phone.
Wow. Okay, that's really great. Okay, aside from your advocacy, what other things are you passionate the most? Like hobbies, what are your interests?
I really, really do love reading. I spend most of my time reading books, and I'm trying to write a book. It's not good yet, obviously my first book, but I'm really trying, and I want to, maybe publish a few books in the future because I really, really do enjoy writing and reading. So that's something that I'm really, really passionate about, because reading books allows me to not only learn, but it also puts me in a position where I am in someone else's life and I can empathize with that. And I can learn a lot from books. So I'm really, really passionate about reading and writing, and I just love novels.
And also, I just like to add up on that. Reading is as well just like you're traveling outside in your home space. Yes, that's what is really nice about reading. So to all our viewers out there, especially the youth, please do try to read just 2 or 3 sentences, and maybe you're gonna love it somehow, and then you're gonna enjoy it. And I know you will have new experiences in life as well. And hey, regarding to your pageantry, you joined the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa. How is it being one of the finalists in the Miss Teen Commonwealth, and what are the activities are they holding right now? When is the final?
Well, they haven't set a date for the final everything because of the pandemic, because people can't come watch. But I think they were considering doing it online, so we're going to. It's new for all of us. We don't really know how we're going to tackle all of this, but we're doing it as a team, and everyone is just so nice, and we've been taught a lot of things in that pageant, and I really, really enjoy it. And it just feels right, because my sister actually started pageantry doing Miss Teen Commonwealth, and I that's where my love of pageantry started. Seeing her on stage, I was just so inspired by it. So I think this is special, me joining the pageant that she was in, and the pageant that inspired me so much.
Okay, so based on my research, I was searching your name in the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa, and I saw in the description that Zukhanye Funani loves pageantry. I have a question for that. How did you came up in the pageantry, and when did you start joining beauty pageants?
I started doing pageants when I was really, really young. My mom used to put me in like the church pageant. Well, I think I was like 6 or 7. And at school, they were on Valentine's Day. We always had Mr. and Miss Valentine, and I always made sure that I dressed the best so that I could be chosen to go into the pageant. And I really did love it. And then when I found out about other pageants, I really did want to enter. What really, really stuck with me throughout all these pageants is that I can,
My backdrop. Okay, this is so awkward because my backdrop just went oops. Okay. Oh yeah, so let's go back. This is so funny. Okay. Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
well,
So, mhm, mhm,
so I started when I was younger, started entering
mhm,
church pageants, and then I broadened out my horizons and I entered the town pageant. But then
mhm,
my mom found out about all these other pageants like Miss Eastern Cape, which is where I really, really started, being introduced. It was my first ever big pageant, and it was,
mhm,
it did a lot in shaping the way that I go into pageantry and the way that I do things. And I'm really, really
mhm,
thankful to have started on that platform, because without that platform, I wouldn't have entered the other pageants that I have gone into. I wouldn't have even been able to enter the ones I went to in the Philippines.
mhm,
So I'm
mhm,
really grateful for pageantry, because I can go to all these places and I can meet all these people and I get to inspire other people. So I think pageantry is really, really great. It's a great thing to go into.
okay. And in your own opinion, how do you think pageantry is helpful in any way, especially to those people like you who are voicing out their advocacies so people could hear them out? How do you think is pageantry helpful?
Well, it opens up a lot of doors. People don't
Mm-mm,
understand the power of a sash. When you wear
mm-mm,
that sash that says Miss whatever pageant that you entered in, it opens up a lot of doors for you, because people now listen to you. They want you to come and they want you to tell them about what you want to do, about what the competition that you're in, and that gives you an
mm-mm.
opportunity to talk about issues that you want to tackle. So it really does bring a lot of attention to you, and in that way
Correct.
people will want to help you more.
Okay, so I like your answer because the same thing, that's the same answer I always get from different what do you call this, Miss Beauty Queens out there since I've interviewed them. Especially there is a Miss Philippines Earth nowadays, and they're going to have their finals, but this is a virtual pageant, and they're really really passionate about competing because they said, as you mentioned as well, that once you held the title, the sash or the crown, you already have the voice to reach out to a lot of people. So that's a big big opportunity to the ladies or men who are into pageants, just like you. Okay, so as a teenager, Zukhanye, I know there's a lot of difficulties out there, especially on your journey in the pageantry. Do you also experience criticism from other people, and what do you think about it?
Well, I'm very grateful to have come from a small town where things like pageantry and going overseas and doing charity work is very appreciated. So I have a very supportive community. Yes, they criticize me, but they do it in a way that, is supposed to build me, not in a way that's supposed to bring me down. So they try to teach me, and they advise me on how to handle issues, and I'm really grateful for
Mm-mm.
that. So I'm really grateful to have, grown up in an environment where I'm so loved and people are just always looking out for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
but if other people are, facing criticism for going
Yeah.
into pageantry, there are people out there who don't really like,
Yes.
people who just bring other people down. So I would
Yes.
say to people who are facing criticism to be firm and believe in themselves, because what they are doing is a good thing. It's for a good cause. And they should just push past through it and, just believe in themselves, because what they're doing is really great and they can bring a lot of change, and they have so much power on their hands and they can
Correct.
do so much for people. So
Yes.
yeah.
I agree with you. In your own views, in your own opinion, how do you think criticism has its advantage and disadvantage? What do you think is the good and bad about criticism?
Well, there are other people out there who can't handle criticism very well, especially if it comes from, a person who's like trying to bring them down and it doesn't have their best interests at heart. It can really be damaging to self-esteem. A person can start doubting themselves, second guessing the decisions that they make. But I think that people should view criticism in a way that it's supposed to help them grow. Even if it comes from the worst person who who doesn't want good things for you. Just understand what do they have an issue with. And if you think that is an issue, then work on it. Don't ignore other people's advice, but also don't take it to heart. Just try to see it as an opportunity to grow and to learn.
Okay, as you are a teenager, I'm really surprised that you answered in that kind of way. I'm really amazed how you think, how wide is your thinking. So I hope there's a lot of youth out there who's always open for more opportunities, who are open for criticizing. And I agree with you, Zukhanye. People out there who are experiencing criticism, who critiques them because of their looks, of their intelligence, of how they do in their jobs or whatever maybe, they should not take it to their heart, but use it as an opportunity. I'll take that as a quote of the day. Thank you so much, Zukhanye. And okay, so since you are now growing as a lady, and you mentioned you are only 17 years old, and 1 year away, you're already going to celebrate your debut. And I just want to ask you, what is your biggest fear throughout the years that you're now grown up lady?
My biggest fear, I have a lot of fears. The biggest one that I have is that I do not live out to my full potential. So I'm always trying to push myself. And sometimes, it does get a bit much. I hold myself to a high standard. But it's because I really believe that I could do so much. And it would be such a shame for me not to do what I could. So I always try to push myself so that I can give my best to the world and, make a difference. Because anyone is powerful enough to make a change in their environment. And I just want to make positive changes. So my biggest fear is to not make those changes and to not become the person that I was always meant to be.
Okay, and now that you also mentioned that your advocacy is more of what do you call this, from the discrimination, am I right? So I just want to ask you as well, in South Africa, in your country, is there also racial discrimination upon your community? And how do they handle it?
Well, we do come from a history of the biggest discrimination in our apartheid period, and I feel as a country we haven't fully gone past through that. We haven't fully recovered from what has happened in our past, and I don't think we ever truly will, because I think discrimination and all of this and racial bias and all of that will always be in our society, and we can't really completely remove it from our world. But what we can do is to try and teach the younger generation to respect each other, because that they are the generation of the future. So if we can teach that generation to be better people, then the world will be a better place. So that's what I mean.
Okay, I believe that South Africa country is, I think it is a multicultural country. Am I right? Or because
yes, so we have 11 different languages, and we have a lot of cultures, a lot of people. So we're very diverse, and I'm very proud of that aspect.
Yes, because I also saw one of the Miss Universe before. It's Demile Mel Peters, if I'm right, and there is Zozibini Tuzini. And so I saw some difference in the color, in the face. So I just want to ask you, in your school, do you also have different classmates, and do you also experience racial discrimination? If yes, how did you handle it?
Again, I grew up in a very small town, and the majority of the town is, black people and people of color and people in my culture, because that's the section of, the country. It's where the close people, most of them are. And my school, I did have a few other classmates, white classmates, but we never, there was never any discrimination or, any bias going on. We always got on well, and we were taught to be respectful to each other. And I'm just really grateful for the sort of environment that I grew up in. But I know that other people aren't as fortunate as I am. So if they ever find themselves in a position where they are facing racial discrimination, what they should do is that they should try to educate that person that all races are equal. There is no race that is better than any other race, and we should all treat each other with respect, because that is what all human beings deserve. No one deserves to be discriminated against. So we should all just always try and educate other people.
Yes, I agree with you. And we have here a question from one of our netizens. They commented. It is from Tati Nepomuceno. He said, as a teenager, are you ready for a commitment to have a partner like boyfriend or sweetheart? Wow, that's an intriguing question. Her mom is watching right now, Tati, huh?
Well, no, actually, I think, there's so much that I want to do right now. I have school. That I'm part of the netball team, and I'm part of the student council, which looks after the school and helps in enforcing the rules. And I'm doing pageantry, and I also have the radio show that I'm doing. So I don't really have time to get to know another person, but maybe in the future when I do have time for it.
Okay, but we all know, since you are as well a grown-up lady, maybe there's some guys out there who are approaching as you. So good luck to them, because you're busy with your dreams. Okay, and another question from Meljun De Luna. He's a professional makeup artist. He said, do you know Masaka Kids? I love Masaka Kids. The culture, the tradition, and African dance moves. He was asking if do you know the Masaka Kids?
No, I do not think I'm familiar with them. Maybe after this interview I'll go, search for them online, but right now, no, I don't think I do.
Okay, Sir Meljun, I think that's in a different part of Africa. Maybe you are mistakenly, yeah. And he said, I have a question for you. Are you in favor of early romantic relationship? Oh my God, why are you asking something like that? They are intriguing you.
Well, it really just depends on the person. I think anyone can do love. It doesn't really come with age. There's no, you start falling in love at this age. I think anyone can fall in love. But it just depends if that person is ready to be in a relationship or not. So, yeah, if you feel like you want to, get to know another person more, if you want to go into a romantic relationship, then I think that's something you can do. And I think it would be beneficial, because if you start now when you're early and you're younger, then you can grow, so that when you get to the later stages of life, you already have matured in how you handle relationships, problems, and all of that, so that, it can be beneficial if you start early. But if you're not ready for it, then don't do it.
Do not. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But wow, I was just amazed. I'm so speechless. But because of your answer, I did not expect it from a 17-year-old like you to talk like that. You are very broad-minded. You are an intelligent person, and I think you are already in the maturity level of being a young lady. Because there's a lot of ladies out there who are ranging from 15 to 18 or 19 years old. I never heard someone to say an opinion like that, but yours it's really matured and really intelligent, and I like how you see things, Zukhanye. So I hope all of the youth out there are just like you. So good. I hope as well. Good luck to your journey for the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa, because I believe you are an intelligent person. So best of luck
Thank you so
in
much.
the. Okay, regarding about the puberty. So we all know we've gone through that stage in life. How about you, Zukhanye? In your own personal views, how what are the difficulties? What are the most things very difficult that you experience throughout your growing up years as a lady?
Well, puberty is very different for everyone who experiences it. In my experience, it was a very trying period in my life because, I'm put into all these situations where I'm not comfortable. I don't know how to respond to stuff. But, discomfort is good. It helps you grow and it helps you learn, and that's a really good way of looking at any sort of situation in your life. Whatever may be happening, it's going to help you grow. You determine how you come out of this situation, and you must come out of it strong and, matured and, educated. And, that's what I would say. Every single situation that I've gone through has helped me to learn from it, and has helped me to approach matters differently. And it's been difficult, but I think it can be an amazing time in your life, because you have all these hormones and everything's so new, and you really have that many responsibilities, so you can live. I really encourage other teenagers to do so. Don't stress too much about the small stuff, and just go out there and live, because when you become an adult, things, they get a little more difficult.
Yes, and things will going to change as well throughout the years. It's not always you're in the puberty stage. So
Yeah.
yes, I like your answer, Zukhanye. I think you're really ready for the pageantry that you're now joining into. But let's talk about your advocacy. If you were given a chance, and if you are given $1 million, how are you going to use the money to support and promote your advocacy?
Well, I would really go into, supporting movements like the Black Lives Matter movement, and supporting movements where people are being taught and people are fighting for really good causes, fighting for people's rights. So that's where I would put most of the money. And the other, I would, try and go into other schools and try to, like, as I said, educate the younger generation to make them better people, so that in the future we can create a better world.
Okay, wow. So $1 million is a big money. So I guess that's a really good idea, because, oh my God, my backdrop again. I hate it. Why are you like this to me? This is so awkward. Okay, so just give me time. I hate it. Why today? I think this is not my day today. Okay. And now Okay. Well, let's move on to the pandemic situation. I know every one of us in the whole world experienced this worldwide current situation. So, how is the pandemic out there in South Africa? How do you think people out there are affected? Are there also businesses been bankrupt, or what do you think? Can you describe it to us?
It's really, really difficult for everyone, especially people who have lost their jobs in during this
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, people who can't
Mm-hmm.
work, and people who have family to support now can't do that because they are unemployed, and businesses that had to close down, and they lost a lot of money, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really difficult. And I would really like to say that we could recover from this, but no
Mm-hmm.
one's really sure. And I
Yes.
just think that we should all have faith, and we should all try and do our best in
Mm.
this really trying time, because no one can predict what's going to happen in the future. No
Yes,
one can
correct.
really predict the extent of the damage this pandemic is going to cause, but we can really
Mm-mm.
just stick together and try to support each other during this whole time. And you know, we'll see what happens in the future.
Yes. Okay. So I've heard some of the countries in the world, they are now on a strict lockdown and the self quarantine. But some of the governments out there in some countries, especially here, including here in the Philippines, they are going to hold an online class to continue the school year for this year. In your own opinion, Zukhanye, are you also in favor doing an online class? Especially, I know there's a lot of youth out there, teenagers, kids who cannot afford laptops, tablets, and internet connection. Can I ask your opinion about that? Are you in favor or what and why?
Well, if really we're going to do online learning, it's gonna
Mm-mm.
really benefit the the children who do have access to the laptops and the internet connection. But then that wouldn't be fair to all of those who, as you said, don't have internet connection. Because I
Mm-mm.
live in a village where, the network, we have network issues, and the internet
Mm-mm.
connectivity is really, really bad. So if that
Mm-mm.
were to happen, I would have a hard time. If we had to write a test, I wouldn't even be able to write a test because of, network issues.
Yes.
And I'm grateful enough to have a laptop. But what about all the other
Mm-mm.
children? What about all the other children who can't afford to have internet, and who don't have the best places in which then they can learn?
Mm-mm.
Because school is an environment that is built for where everyone can be the same and where everyone can learn at the same standard. But if we take that away, then it's
Mm-mm.
giving some kids an unfair advantage, while it's being really unfair to other children. So
Yes.
where I stand, I think that it really wouldn't be fair to the
Mm-mm.
other children who can't, have internet
Yes.
connections, who don't have laptops. And it would be really difficult, because as right now I'm trying to do work. My teachers send me the work online, and then I try to do it. But something I don't understand, and you can't really contact the teacher, and so it's
Yes.
just really making it really difficult. So
Correct.
that's my opinion on the whole thing.
Okay, and also I would just like to share my opinion, since there are a lot of viewers out there. Some of the classmates of my friends, they are younger than me, and I know they were experiencing the same problem here in the Philippines. Not all children were given free laptops and tablets, and also not all people out there, the families, they cannot afford internet connection to pay it monthly. And what's the worst here in the Philippines nowadays, since there was a pandemic lockdown, because all of the people out there is staying at their homes, so the consume of the internet is really high. So basically, what will happen is that there will be slow internet connections. So I agree with you, Zukhanye, that I am not also in favor of doing online classes, because not all children are fortunate to have the things or the resources to use for that. Maybe I guess it's not that bad to stop 1 or 2 years for not going back to school. If you are experiencing this kind of situation, the global pandemic, it's really dangerous to go outside, because the virus is deadly. We don't know who is the enemy. It can be near you. You can be sick whenever, whatever time or day. So we really have to be safe and be careful as well. So I also wish you, Zukhanye, and your family to be safe there, and yeah, as well as
Thank
your
you.
classmates.
I wish you good
Yeah.
health as well.
Yes, thank you. So regarding your journey to the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa as a finalist, I hope you will be one of the winners. I don't know, maybe you can bag the title for this year, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And because yes, why not? Let's stay positive, because I believe that the reason I was saying this, because now that I talked with you personal, not in person, but even though it's virtually, it's really nice to hear a teenager so much. She has so much in mind, and she's so really broad-minded and matured in her age. So I'm really proud of you, Zukhanye, and I know your mom is as well proud of you, and your sisters and your dad. So good luck to your show, and good luck to your finals for the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa. But before that, before we go off the screen, I just want to thank you for sharing us your time today. I know it's going to be 3 p.m. in South Africa, and that will
Yeah.
be 9 p.m. here in the Philippines. So thank you so much, Zukhanye. And also, I would like to thank your mom. A big shout out to Mrs. Funani out there. If you're listening to me, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show here in the Philippines with your daughter. She's really excellent and intelligent, and you are really lucky to have a daughter like her. So, but before that, Zukhanye, I have one last question before we go off the screen. What lessons have you learned throughout this pandemic situation that you'd like to share with the viewers out there?
I've learned that you now have time. That's how I think about it. Because we now do have time. We have time to spend with our families. Because in under normal circumstances, we go to school, we have all these extracurriculars, we have to do stuff, and sometimes we're trying to do everything with our career and with our schoolwork and everything. But then we forget that we have to spend time together, and this pandemic has given us time. It has it's good benefit. So now I spent the last month with my family, and it was great. We reconnected, we played games, I got to know them once again, and I'm really grateful for the time this has given me. I've started writing really, really well again. I've really been practicing, and it's getting a lot better. And I'm just really grateful for the time this has given us, because this hasn't been all bad. There are some, positives to the situation.
Yes, of
So
course.
what I
The
would say
time
to
with the
other
family. Yes,
yeah. So what I would
very
say
important.
to other people is experiencing this pandemic is that
Yes.
they should use this time to do whatever they had plans to do, and just get healthy, spend time with family, go and don't go outside, but do everything that you wish that you could. Read that book that you wanted to read, and just take this time to get to know yourself better, because people forget to really self-reflect and to introspect, and I think they should take this time to do that.
I can relate what you've mentioned, the self-reflection thing, because in this kind of situation, we got a good opportunity to get. This is the chance where we can learn more from ourselves. Maybe we can more study about how we feel, how are we, what are the changes from ourselves, and maybe we can change bad habits. Just being self-quarantined, that's a big opportunity for everyone else. I know that there's also a disadvantage from being quarantined and not going back to their jobs and going back to school, but somehow I also have seen some advantages, especially what you have mentioned. We had also get to have time with our family, and I also consider the investment and saving of money, because I know people out there really, really busy buying expensive things, unnecessary, and now we learned that the value of saving money is really important in this kind of situation. So I guess teenagers like you, Zukhanye, especially for those who are watching to us right now, also relate with us, so they know the lessons of saving and valuing the time that is given with them. And okay, did you learn any new skills? Did you discover any new skills from yourself during your quarantine?
I'm trying to draw. I'm really trying to. I'm taking some watching, videos on YouTube teaching me how to draw, and it's really getting better. It's not as bad as it was in the beginning.
Okay.
But I'm really enjoying that. I feel that it helps me de-stress, and it helps me, feel centered and to relax and feel at peace. And I'm really enjoying it. So hopefully, I will be really.
You mentioned that drawing is one of your de-stressing yourself. I just want to have a follow-up question on that. Since you are a teenager, how do you handle stress within yourself?
Well, the way I cope with stress is that what I first try to do is find out what exactly is stressing me so much. And the next part, I break it into processes. So I find out what's wrong, what's causing me all of this distress. And then I make out a plan for it. And so I plan how I'm going to tackle this issue. And I try and when I have a plan, it really puts me at ease. And then I try to execute that. And get to the heart of the issue and then sort it out from there, and it will really make a huge difference in how you feel. So don't just be stressed. Get up and actually do something about it. And if you can't really do anything about it, I say sit down and try and calm yourself down, do something that's gonna help you de-stress and help you make you feel at peace. So I find that in drawing, and I find it in reading, because it really takes away what I have in the moment, and it helps me focus on somebody else's story and somebody else's journey,
instead of overthinking.
Absolutely. Try to overthink as little as possible.
Yes, because overthinking is just made up by your mind. So to all our viewers out there, I hope you got some tips from what Zukhanye, how she handles her stress, and I hope you also relate from what she said as well. Okay, before we go off the screen, please have your chance, Zukhanye, to promote your activities, your upcoming activities and plans for the future, especially your journey for the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa.
I have a page on Facebook, which is Funani Zukhanye. Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa finalist. I will be updating there when the competition will happen, whether I need votes or not. So please follow me on there. And I will be doing a broadcast this Saturday. The link will be up on my Facebook as well if you want to come in and listen in. And that's about it. That's all the projects I have for now.
Okay. How about your radio broadcasting? Where can we watch it or
Um,
listen?
well, I do have a live video up on my Facebook page when I do it, and it's really, it's a community radio show, so not a lot of people can come listen on, but I also have the link up on my Facebook, and
Okay.
and I will be hosting a competition in my town, which is Miss
Wow.
Project. Yeah, I really want to introduce and other people to pageantry, and give the same opportunities that I got to other people. So it will be Miss Prodigy. It is still in the planning stages, but it will be happening later on this year. So stay tuned on my Facebook page.
Okay. Okay, guys, as you heard Zukhanye, she has a Facebook page, Valente Zukhanye Funani, and you can see her updates, and please support her as well. To my fellow Filipinos, you can like as well and vote to her pageant, ongoing pageant. And before that, we have a follow-up question, one last question from Direk Primo. He said, what good words can you share to all young people out there to inspire them and be more a positive outlook in life? Wow.
I would say to open your mind and try to be accepting of other people, accepting of circumstances, and especially accepting of yourself. Because I feel that younger people have, they love the world, but then they struggle to love themselves. So I think that they should really, that's the key aspect that they should work on, because you are stuck with yourself forever. And so you should love yourself and try to understand yourself and accept yourself for who you are.
Okay. And he has one more question. He said, can you tell a little bit more about your culture, about foods and dresses, if there is any restrictions? Oh yeah, I forgot to ask that. Is South Africa a Muslim country, or do you have different religions in your country?
We have a lot of different religions. There are people who there are Muslims, there are Catholics, there are Protestants. It's a very diverse country. So we have different cultures, we have different religions, and yes, we have different, foods that we enjoy. So we are very into our roots. We do ceremonies and rituals, and I think it's a really, diverse, multicultural place. So yeah.
Okay, because of that. Okay, go on.
We actually do have a page on Facebook, which is called Sunrise Cybernet TV, where we will be showcasing parts of South Africa, what happens here, the food that we eat, and it's on Facebook. It's called Sunrise Cybernet TV. So we recently started that. It's a really proud project that we are working on, where we will showcase South Africa and the culture and the people.
Okay, and because of that, Zukhanye, I adore you, because you are really a bright child, a bright lady. You're really good at answering our questions, and I think this is one of the most pretty good and really, really good interviews I've made since then from Primo Modelo TV. So I just have one more last question, Zukhanye. So okay, so this is regarding about your culture in South Africa. Do you think, or do you believe that is there any restrictions when it comes to your culture from joining into a beauty pageant? Because I believe that our culture is who forbids women to showcase the beauty, or show off some little skin or something like that. What can you say about your culture when it comes to pageantry?
Well, I am a very proud Xhosa. So my culture really doesn't have any restrictions. I'm
Okay.
actually, it encourages me to, show off who I am and to show off that
Okay.
I'm proud of being a Xhosa person, and to, showcase my culture, to showcase how the Xhosa clan has raised me. And, it's just, it's a really encouraging and supporting culture, and it's, open-minded, and it's willing to accept other aspects of other cultures. And it's a really great culture, and I'm really proud of who I am.
Okay. So, do you also believe there's a negative impact of pageantry?
Um, well, there's always a positive and a negative side for everything. I
Yeah.
remember in the earlier stages of pageantry where I felt, it was so much pressure, because when you're in the pageantry world, you have so much power. And as
Yeah.
a Marvel fan, Stan Lee always said, with great power comes great responsibility. So I always felt pressured from that responsibility. I always felt that people maybe expected me to do something like this, or people didn't expect me to do stuff like that. But to cope with that, I think I have grown, and I have understood that it doesn't really matter what people expect of me. I should just try and do the best and offer what I can to the world, and do as much as I can with the power that I have been given with pageantry. So if that pressure comes along, take a deep breath and then do what you think is right. Do not let other outside, factors influence what you do.
Okay, so thank you so much, Zukhanye Funani. And I'd like to thank your mom so much. I think she's really proud right now. She's watching. Thank you so much, Madam. And I hope we can interview sometime here as well with your daughter, Zukhanye. So let's have a fun chat together with other people. So once again, thank you so much, Zukhanye, for sharing us your time for today. I hope you're not that busy, and good job and good luck to your journey in life. Yes, before we go off the screen, do you have any words to say to the viewers before we say bye?
Just everyone stay safe, stay at home, take up new hobbies that you want to do, support each other, and, take this time to get to know yourself and to accept yourself and to love yourself for who you are, because you're a beautiful person.
Yes, and you are beautiful as well, Zukhanye. Okay, once again, thank you so much, and have a good day in South Africa. Bye, Zukhanye, and see you sooner again.
Bye. It was very nice being here.
Yes, thank you so much. And okay, guys, to all the viewers out there, that was Zukhanye Funani from South Africa, and she's one of the finalists for the Miss Teen Commonwealth South Africa 2020. And I'm